So Jan, see the,
This came out
Take a
great.
picture.
What did you do this table now?
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, she's
Watch out,
really
this
good at
is
that.
wet. I noticed that right away.
I will.
Jan,
What?
see the teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Now, is there any significance to that, or is it, I mean, it's really
Yes,
cool.
Yes. Well, you've got M's and W's. They just repeat, they keep going back, and then you've got layers of them going back in the distance.
Yeah, it would definitely keep that stuff if you can.
You see a lot of that in old churches in Scandinavia, well, all over
Really?
all over the world. Yeah, you'll see that that pattern.
Yeah, I mean, even the walls are patterned, I mean, everything is patterned.
And you got your fleur-de-lis right here. This is French. That's a bloodline symbol. And this is Gothic. Those peaks over here, these guys here. This is Gothic architecture right here. So, right here. Peak. Here, sacred feminine.
So, yeah. I mean, it must have, you think about when they put this in, it must have cost a fortune.
Well, I mean, it was sort of standard procedure back in the day, and it was just what they did. But to do it nowadays is really expensive. And then you got torches over there, and blank.
There was an office back there too, right?
Yeah, it's,
These guys here. This is what, tin or what is that?
yeah, it's tin, it's all tin, top, bottom, it's all stamped tin.
Form and stamped, yeah. 7. Yeah, you got all kinds of symbolism here. It's cool. Very Masonic.
And they, they had the potbelly stove here is what I was told for years.
Yeah, I can see the vent holes right there.
And then I think this building was, well, I don't think, it was put in, the building where the restrooms and the kitchen was there first.
Okay.
The only reason I know that steel door,
Downstairs.
yeah, that you
Yeah.
walk through, that when we were ripping out things, there was a window there that looked from that building into this
Oh,
building.
really? Okay.
Yeah, it had been covered.
What are
up.
those guys up to?
Exactly. You gotta find out. And then the third floor is where they had their ceremonial room, so we can go up there, but
That's the lodge room.
that's, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I don't know what.
There's something up there, I guarantee you.
I'm interested to find out, because there's not much left. When they left, they took pretty much everything.
Okay, well, they always leave something behind. And you see this little square with the X in it?
Yeah.
That's what a pyramid looks like when you're looking straight down on it.
Oh, it does, you're right.
Actually, that is.
Yeah, when you look straight up.
It's a slight pyramid, yeah.
There's always something.
Shriners are charity driven.
My wife works at Shriners Burn Center.
Yeah, that's
that's
all
great. They do such
Freemason.
great work.
She's on their flight team, and she goes and picks up the kids that got burned. I couldn't do what she does.
Oh, I couldn't.
That's all, yeah, the Masons all fund that. Council, Commandery, Knights Templar, Royal Order of Scotland, that's a Rosicrucian order.
So now those all still exist today?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep.
And then here's where their main, this guy's got it stored up with everything here.
So these coat racks.
Well, let's see.
This was their preparation room.
I suspect that's.
So they have to change and get
Right,
rid
the
of
robe used
costumes
to be in
and
the
things?
closet right there.
Yeah,
but
so that's where they would hang their
That's
regular
more west.
street clothes.
Even though you're looking at Kentucky,
Yeah,
it's still
it's
more.
very
Well, that's
theatrical.
west. This is east because the door would not be in the south because the junior warden sits here, the senior warden sits here, the master sits in the east.
So even the way they put the door, I mean, there's signs up there, I don't know what those.
And then they'll have
Compass, plum, and
a junior warden here. And then the Tyler will be outside the door. He makes sure nobody gets in. But that goes back to Templar tradition. You know when I was talking about the Telpiat tomb?
Yeah.
You know, in the burial chamber where they found the 10 ossuaries, there's little tunnels coming off the main chamber of the tomb. And they would put those boxes in the tunnels. But when the archaeologists went into this tomb, they found 3 skulls placed in an equilateral triangle in the west, in the south, and in the east, where the 3 highest officers sit in a Masonic Lodge or in a Templar preceptory. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Well, they had a stage up there. That had a little bit of a stage.
Well,
It was taken
it would have
out.
been 3 steps
There were 3 steps.
up to the master.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know how they got the safe up here. But that's one.
Maybe through the
That's not
window?
safe.
I know, and I was hoping it was full of money, but I haven't found,
Hey, they're not stupid. They're like the Templars. They didn't leave their shit laying around for people to find.
Exactly.
That was here?
Yeah, that was here. I mean, and it's staying here.
Well, it's heavy.
Oh, I have no intention of moving
I'm
it.
gonna tell you
That's
about
cool.
It is pretty cool.
Grandpa's safe.
But yeah, there was a stage here with 3 steps up.
Yeah.
And that's where
sat here.
that throne was right here.
Treasurer,
So
or
that would be
secretary
the
was here.
And there was a desk here.
Yep, that's the
So
secretary,
that would be the
or
east.
excuse me, the treasurer,
Yeah.
and then the secretary was over here. He's usually the lawyer.
I like the lawyers.
Yeah, well, nobody else does.
We have to stick together.
And then the new initiates would sit in the northeast because that's where they begin their journey, because that's, the sun never goes there. So they all sit over here. So yeah, well, this is,
Yeah, there's not, I mean, I've looked around and I've just never found, but the way you explained it is exactly the way it was laid out when I first came up
This
here.
was their
Exactly.
They're all
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
uh-huh.
There's just those symbols above the door that you walked in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I took that.
The plumb, the compass, the square, and the level. Those are the various degrees of what they call the Blue Lodge, or the first 3 degrees. Those are the most important symbols. So every time you come out, you see those, and that's to remind you of where you came from, where you started.
So they were legendary from countries? Were they from countries, different
Masonic?
countries?
The Masons?
Masons?
Freemasonry is a worldwide organization. It's the largest fraternity in the world.
Oh, it's a world.
Yeah, there's about 5 million Freemasons around the world today, in every country, yeah. So if you're a Mason, you can go to any lodge in the world, and you have to prove you're a Mason. There's certain things that they will ask you. You have to, what they call prove up. So they'll ask you questions and you have to answer them correctly. And if you do, then you're a brother, and they'll bring you in and they'll treat you like you're just one of their own. Anywhere in the world. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what country. In Jerusalem, in a Muslim country, in a Christian country, they don't care what religion you are. The only thing that Masons have to do is make a statement in a belief in a higher power, whoever that power is, or whoever she might be. Doesn't matter.
Where did it originate? Is there any...
Freemasonry, it depends on who you talk to. I mean, their official coming out party was in 1717 in England.
England.
Oh, yeah,
The
but they
British have
existed
started
for-
so much.
Jesus was a Mason. Jesus was a Grand Master.
Oh, he was.
His sect, they were all initiated, and all what he was teaching and what you learn, they basically were the PhDs of their time. They're learning the ancient mysteries. You've heard that term? Mm-hmm. The ancient mysteries are nothing more than the 7 classic arts and sciences. Mm-hmm. The Egyptians were teaching the ancient mysteries in their temples. Mm-hmm. And when you go in, you've got those 2 columns, the 2 obelisks. You have to pass through those to enter the temple. And that was passed on through Christian symbolism. I mean, any church you see, the twin towers, those are symbolic of the twin obelisks in Egypt. It all goes back to Egypt and beyond, but that's the symbolism. So
That's what's interesting when you tie so much of the history here back to Egypt.
People
Like you were
don't
talking,
get it.
it's all tied together.
well, because certain religions don't want you to know that. They want to tell you what the story is so they can control you. And that's what Masonry is not about. That's why they don't have these rules. I mean, they have rules, but you know, as you progress in Masonry, if you want to, it's up to you. It's not like, okay, you are bound to do this. There are certain things you have to do to get through the first 3 degrees of the Blue Lodge, but after that, it's up to you. It's your journey if you want to do it or not. Some guys are done after 3 degrees. Some guys want to go as far as they possibly can. I'm one of those guys. I want
Is
to
that
do
what
everything
these
I
are?
can.
Those are the 3?
Those are symbols that you see in the first 3 degrees, yes.
Okay.
Yep. And it's interesting that doesn't have a G in the middle, isn't it? That's old. You know how you see the compass and square and you see a G in the middle? The G is actually an American invention, or it was developed here in America about the time of the Revolutionary War. And it stands for God, but it stands for other things too. God meaning the Creator. And that's, like I was saying to you, that's the only thing as a Mason that they ask you to do, is to make a statement about a belief in a higher power. Who that higher power is, that's up to you. So, it can be Jewish, you can be Muslim, you can be Christian, you can be Buddhist, they don't care. Natives put a feather on the altar. The altar would have been right here, in the middle.
Oh, wouldn't have been up by the
No,
cave?
it would be right here. Be right in the middle. Right in the center. And so everybody, when the rituals go through, this is obviously very important. And then on the altar, they will have all the sacred books. The Bible, the Quran, the Torah, eagle feather.
Just we're whatever brothers.
It's a truly equal opportunity. I mean,
Totally.
that's cool. That's amazing.
And there's only 2 things that you can't talk about in Lodge. Politics and religion.
Those are 2 things that can cause some,
Divide people.
cause some problems.
It's about
It is a life lesson.
It's about coming together. You're coming together as brothers and you support each other and you find common ground. You don't talk about the things that divide you. You talk about the things that bring you together. It's a cool thing.
It sounds very cool. And I know, like I said, with my wife working at the shrine, you know, I know that's part of, you know, the Mason organization. And what they do there is amazing.
They are humble to a fault, and I've told them that. I said, look, how are you going to expand your influence and your the positive messages that you have if people don't know what you're doing?
Yeah, but now they are advertising.
Well, they're starting to now. They're starting to now, but they're very
And they're doing a good job.
humble.
They are very
They're humble to
They
a
are.
fault. That's what I've told them that. I said, and to be quite honest with you, I've spent 15 years studying Freemasonry, and I've convinced myself that it's a good thing and that we need more Masons. I mean, I'll give you one example. We have our founding fathers, George Washington, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Paul Revere, all these guys that we elevate to this almost godlike status in this country. And they're wonderful men, and they're all Freemasons. Is there a connection? Is there a reason why they're such great men have anything to do with Freemasonry? Well, yeah, it has everything to do with it. All these, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration, those are Masonic documents. And so I've told them, I said, why don't people know that? Why aren't we taught in school why Freemasonry is so important with these guys that are on the money we hand out every day?
People are afraid of Masons, though, for some reason. And I don't understand
The question
why.
is why?
I don't know why.
Well, I can tell you why. Because of religion.
Yeah.
They want to marginalize Masonry because Masonry marginalizes them. Because you go back in history, what did the church want to do? They wanted to keep the populace stupid.
Yeah.
On purpose, so they could control them. When you hear Masonry, they talk about light. Light is knowledge. Seek light. And it's a fact. And I won't talk about this tomorrow, but I'll talk about it now. One of the biggest problems we have on this planet is overpopulation. If we don't get our population under control, we're not going to make it. There's going to be mass starvation and death. Fact. It's not a discussion item, it's the way it is. So,
May I say something?
yeah.
John, do you ever watch John Hagee? Well, he says that China is coming into our country, throughout our country, and going to take most of our foods. and bring them the china.
Well,
and
that's-
we're going to have a famine.
Well, I don't know about that. I think that's an oversimplification, but we have an issue. We all know it. It's the elephant in the room. No politician will ever talk about it because it's a death sentence. For some reason, it's stupid. They should talk about it. But the way that you curb that is not by killing people or, you do it by education. Because it's also a fact that the more educated women are, the fewer number of children they have. And so those are the principles that Masonry teaches. And it's been around for thousands of years. Why do you think the Egyptians were so successful? A lot of these cultures around the world, the Greeks and the Romans, they all had Masonry. So different forms and different ways they went about it, but their educated ones were involved in these societies. But Masonry will let anybody in. You just have to.
That's what you're saying, it's equal opportunity.
Yeah.
They don't care what,
They don't care. They don't care.
what religion.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And what their job is, and what my job is now as a Mason, is I want to spread light, spread knowledge. And I want to get the truth about all this stuff out. And it's people like Mr. Ken that, they're stuck in their dogma of their truth that they want to control. And it's no different than organized. Look what's happening over in the Middle East. This is organized radical religion that's destroying these monuments, killing people. For what?
Right.
For what?
All allegedly in the name of
Some God.
some god that they are.
Well, if there is a God, and I think there probably is, whoever that is, would he be for that?
That's not what,
I don't
one
think
would
so.
think they would stand for.
I don't think so.
That's interesting. I mean, and particularly the religious component.
Well, you get into a sensitive area when you start talking about religion, but it's time people talked about it. And look, everybody, most of the people that are out there, they know what the hell's going on. You got 98% of Catholics practice birth control, but yet it's against their religion. How many women are going, okay, whatever? It's ridiculous. Let's just talk straight and do the right thing.
It's amazing to think that that's such an iconic idea. That's such an odd idea. People don't want to talk straight.